Good evening. Briefly, I want to speak about Erling Haaland, and the main point I want to address about him is whether he's overrated or not. Now, personally, I've always believed that he's been respected and rated as a goal scorer rather than a football player overall. Because if you were to compare Haaland to somebody like Harry Kane, yes, he's the better finisher. You could say he's the better scorer, but Harry Kane is clearly rated higher when it comes to overall ability. Even though he hasn't scored the amount of goals that Haaland did last season, I think last year Harry Kane scored 30 goals for Spurs, and obviously Haaland scored about 35 in the league. So, and overall, Haaland got about 52 goals in all comps. But with that being said, Harry Kane is still regarded as the better overall striker because he's got different elements to his game, whether it's goal scoring, his hold up play, link up play, dropping deep to receive the ball, and to spread the play out. So now, recently, Roy Keane on Sky Sports referred to Haaland as a League Two football player in terms of his other abilities outside of goal scoring, which is for me which is completely overboard, completely out of line in a sense, because Haaland does he's had moments where he has tracked back or dropped deep to receive the ball. There's been at times when his hold up play has been overlooked. Do you know what? His hold up play is overlooked actually. Quite to be quite honest, his hold up play is very underrated, as well as his link up as well. Because I do think he tends to link up well with Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva. I think he has showcased that. Obviously, he hasn't happened enough, but he has that ability to showcase that he's an overall player. He's done it before, but people will not pay attention to that because they're so focused on his goal scoring, which is understandable. But with that being said, I feel like there's a slight disrespect towards Haaland because they kind of assume that because he's playing for City that he's getting all these goals. He had a good goal. He was in good goal scoring form playing for Dortmund and Salzburg before he came here to England to Man City. So let's just be fair and be honest now, because I think yes, Erling Haaland does have his struggles against certain defenders, whether it's Gabriel from Arsenal, whether it's Van Dijk, or whether it's who else, Romero at times. He has his struggles against certain defenders who are very physical, because he's a big guy. He's 6'5", 6'4". He's a strong guy, and obviously the defenders are more than willing to get physical with him, knowing that it could throw him off at times. But for the most part, I think he's rated. Well, personally, I rate him as a good striker. I know he's not had the best of season this year. He hasn't been the best this season, but he's still top scorer, which is saying something. So I'll leave that to people are gonna have their own opinions on him. Personally, I think he's great. I think he's in the right team. I think he's flourishing in the right system when he's focused, of course. And I don't buy into this. Obviously, he's not a League Two player. Like that's just insane. And maybe that's Roy Keane saying that is down to the conflict that he had with his father years ago, which is a whole other story. But we leave that alone. But the fact is, Haaland is a good striker. He's an elite striker. I would take him. I would take him on my team personally, and I think maybe last year it'll be understandable to think that he's been overrated, but now he's been disrespected way too much now. He's been disrespected way too much, and it's just not right, in my opinion. But what do I know? That's my opinion. I think Haaland is a great striker. Arguably the best ever at finishing. I think he can make improvements to his overall game, even though I do think that he's showcased those other abilities of hold up play, link up play, etc. So, but that's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree. Take care. God bless.